Greetings from YouTubeville. Once again, Danny Savage, Draft Guru. Sorry, can't wear the hat. Had to get something chopped off the back. Uh, this is a football channel, a draft channel, but I said every Wednesday I'm just going to throw out a fantasy football video. Even though, if you like, sub and subscribe, it don't cost a dime. Still the best beard on YouTube. All right, let's talk about some fantasy football. And that's exactly what it is, fantasy. Was it great 25, 30 years ago? 20 years ago? Yes. But I do think now in today's world, it's outdated like the Etzel. You could look it up. That was a very old automobile. And I'm showing my age because I'm old, but I'm not that old. There's much more productive ways to spend your season and to spend your Thursday nights, Sundays, Mondays, if you catch my drift. And you can go to Danny Savage Draft Guru on Twitter for those tips. All I'm trying to say is I think fantasy football is outdated and there's much more other productive ways that are lucrative, in my opinion. But we're going to still talk some tips. One tip that I've always loved from day one, and it makes sense, is getting a rock solid star quarterback and then go back right around with his rock solid number one wide receiver. Let's be honest, back in the day, especially back in the day, there was like maybe five stud running backs there would be in the NFL. And if you want to pick it in, like, say, the top three, top four, I'm going back to like the Priest Holmes era, Sean Alexander. I'm going back 20 plus years, people. That's how long. If you could get one of those guys, could you have gotten lucky with a Dominic Davis late, who was crazy? He played for the Texans. Yeah. Could you have gotten a Matt Forte late? Yeah. But I loved having, let's be honest right now. Right now in the NFL, it's a running back by committee league. How many bell cow backs are there? How's the guy feeling who took CMC right now? How's the guy feeling who took Bijan Robinson, who still doesn't have a touchdown in 2 games? And I like Bijan, but in my opinion, I think he's more of a east-west style runner than a north-south bell cow back. That's just my 2 cents. But now, and honestly, if you're playing in a league where a passing touchdown is 4 points, shame on you, man. Because bro, do you wear sandals in the snow? Like, does that even make sense? In every form of football, I don't care where, Pee Wee, Pop Warner, freshman, JV, high school, junior college, NFL, XFL, USFL, Canadian League, any league, a passing touchdown is 6 points. So if you're playing in a league still in 2024 where a passing touchdown is 4 points, that is comical, because then you just want a running quarterback. But a running quarterback, his touchdown is worth 6. But if he passes for a touchdown, it's only worth 4. Yo, I was in one league in my entire life where it was 4 points for a passing touchdown. And it's comical. It doesn't make sense. And if you're stupid enough to be in a league like that, that's on you. That's on you. So now, back in the day, I used to love getting Peyton Manning, follow it right back with Marvin Harrison. Somebody jumped on him, I'd run it back with Reggie Wayne. So now, boom, I got Peyton Manning, Reggie Wayne. But you could do this with you could have did this with Aaron Rodgers, and who's the one wide receiver they had? I'm trying to think, man. I'm going back years. White kid, wide receiver. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Watch, it'll come to me right off. Jordy Nelson. Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson, you were putting up points. So think about it, people. It makes sense. If they connect on a touchdown, boom, you got 12 points. You have the reception from the wide receiver. You have the yardage from the wide receiver, and you have the yardage from the quarterback. You can have 20-point plays, but granted, you need a stud quarterback and his stud wide receiver. In 2013, I won my league with 3 guys. I had 3 guys on my team, and I won my guy. Well, of course, I had more than 3 guys on my team, but I won that year behind 3 guys, and that was when Peyton Manning was in Denver, and I had Peyton Manning, Wes Welker, and Eric Decker. That was the year Manning threw for like 49 or 50 touchdowns. And if I could have traded for Thomas, the other wide receiver, and had all 3 wide receivers, I would have got it. But nobody would trade me. There was fantasy football games. They were like, yo, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. You're down 80, 90 points. And boom. It's a strategy, people. It's like playing chess and checkers. Also, think outside the box. The days of starting off your fantasy football team with 2 running backs, bro, that's it. That hasn't worked in years. It is a passing league. And listen, how many times, and listen, let's say you can't get that stud quarterback. Yo, don't give up on. There's plenty of perfect example, Dak Prescott. He's a great fantasy football. He's great fantasy football because he's the king of garbage time touchdowns. He's great. Regular season, he's a great fantasy football. And I've already had him. I've used him with Lamb or Cooper. You know what I'm trying to say? He's great, but he's also the king of garbage time. So if you can't get that stud, don't be afraid of trying the same theory later on, because in fantasy football, points are points. Does it really matter if the team is 12 and now we have 17 games? So does it really matter if the team is 12-5 or if your team is 0-17? I'm talking about the team in the NFL scoring those points. How often do you see a player do absolutely nothing, but he's on a garbage team, and now that team is being blown out 45-0 in the game, and then all of a sudden, boom, he bounces off for 2 touchdowns and 80 yards in the 4th quarter because the other team has their second stringer. You know what I'm trying to say? So all I'm trying to say is when it comes to fantasy football, think outside the box and don't sleep on your monster QB and a monster wide receiver. Don't be afraid of going running back round 3, round 4. Don't. If you watch this channel and you know who all the great rookies are, you can take those rookie running backs later on in your fantasy football draft. And then people are going to be like, yo, where'd you hear? Where'd this guy come from? Oh, you say, yo, I heard him on the Danny Savage Draft Guru show. But you're only going to get one fantasy football video a week on Wednesday because I just think fantasy football is in the Stone Age and there's much better ways to, let's just say, have fun. And you can check my Twitter account for that. We all know when you're rocking with the GWO. Where is it? It's on that side. Bam! It's for life. See you next Wednesday with a fantasy video. Over and out.